Welcome to the Circle of Geekdom Vidcast. I'm Chris.
I'm Sean.
Let's talk about some geeky shit. Sean, what's going on?
I painted my office
You
pink.
did. I keep looking at it like from this angle with that lighting behind it. It just looks like you're on a white background, but
Yeah, I put what is it, like the reveal bulbs? So they're like super bright.
yeah. But like it's the optical illusion because if you turn the camera into a certain way, it then starts to transition into the pink, and I can see it. Are
Yeah,
you
if
gonna
I
do it?
tilt it to where you're not getting as much like harsh, you'll get the pink.
Yeah, there it is, right there. Yeah. So why pink?
We had tested out a blue and a lighter blue and a lighter green, and then we threw in the pink as a wild card, and it was the pink that we picked first was like way too white, but it was still like the better of the three.
Hmm?
And so I just went with a slightly more pink, and that was it.
Nice.
Pink's my favorite color, so it's a nice calming color. So it makes the office a bit more just chill all
Yeah.
around.
Very nice.
There we go.
All right. Very well. So what have you been up to this week?
Well, this week, what did I do this week?
Or really last
Playing
week's?
playing some Apex. Season 4 just dropped, so playing that. I've played little to no of the new character because he's not that interesting to me.
Mm.
But I've just been working on the ranked grind, which is difficult if you don't have your regular group of people.
Yeah. Like, who is your regular group? Give them the shout out.
That's the guys from what used to be the Circle of Geekdom B team. So that's everybody over. And if you're on the Circle of Geekdom Discord, I can always get you over on our Discord for the Apex Champions one. But it's a regular group of guys: MJ, Yukon, Cody, Pax, Feared. I want to make sure I don't leave anybody out.
Yeah.
My buddy Garrett. Those are the regulars. Oh, then there's Lee and Stasia and some other people. There's
Nice.
probably about 15 of us in total now. It's pretty cool.
That's awesome. Like, so when you play, like, who do you main as actually, or do you alternate?
Octane.
Octane. Yeah.
I play Octane. Ever since we successfully called all of his stats on the podcast last March,
Yeah.
he's been my main character. He's the one who jives the most with my gaming personality, where it's like jump first, plan later.
Yeah. Well, very cool.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. I've already gotten a few wins in season 4 though, although I think most of them are with Watson.
Watson's the one who can do like the barriers, right?
Yeah, she came out in season. She was the new legend for season 2 because
Mhm.
Octane came out as kind of like a in between character.
Okay.
But yeah, she came out, and then season 3 when they added the new map World's Edge, that was Crypto, and then season 4 they have Revenant.
Okay. That's the robot who's all weird and psycho, right? That we talked about last week.
Yes,
Okay.
that's the creepy one with the metal shaving.
Yeah. And that's the one in the game is not interesting to use.
I mean, to me, he's not as interesting. He has some neat abilities. So his tactical is like you shoot almost like a grenade type thing that blows up and like stays there. That if you hit them or they run through it, it disables all their abilities for 10 seconds. So that's pretty cool.
Okay.
Um, his passive is he can crawl quickly and quietly, and then he can climb up higher and faster than other people. And then his ultimate is he sets down like this death totem that when his teammates run through it, they turn into basically like these. It's not Wraith the character, but I can only describe them as Wraiths, to where they don't have any shields,
Hmm.
but they do a lot more like damage and they can run around faster. But then when they die, they just revert back to where the death totem was. So
Oh.
I can see the benefit, but he doesn't jive as well with me.
Okay. Well, right on then. Um, and for me, it's just been Final Fantasy 14. It's been getting ready for 5.2. The trailer came out on Wednesday, and it just absolutely just rocked my socks off with just how exciting everything looks. And it's even like little things too. Like they're introducing now umbrellas. So like when it's raining out, you can actually equip an umbrella. Exactly, yeah. Like it's a nice little touch for it. I don't know, like when you play World of Warcraft, do they have stuff like that? Like just like aesthetics that are just like that, like umbrellas or glasses or anything like that?
They added some over the years.
Okay.
They didn't have any. I remember Dark Age of Camelot did that at one point. They added like hats that did like nothing. So they had
Mm,
like a witch's hat or whatever
yeah.
and stuff like that. But that's cool. I love those kind of random just feels good things that they add into
Yeah.
games.
Yeah, and right now they're doing the Valentine's Day event too, which is they give you a scenario where this dude is just like, like, oh, I'm just a workaholic and I can't find love. And then there's these three like love experts who are going to give him advice, and then you get to vote on which one was whose advice was the best one. And then
Ooh.
once the voting's over, then the story will adjust to whichever one won the popular vote. And the options were telling the guy just to expand your horizons and just go do something, which, like, okay, that's kind of generic, but okay. Uh, the other was figure out a hobby. Like if you're like just by doing that, you'll be able to get out and engage more. And the third was to do some introspection. Like if you don't know what you're looking for, you won't know it till, if you happen to come across it, which I thought was actually kind of a insightful answer, because you get to ask the dude the question like, well, what are you looking for in a mate? And the dude's response is like, I don't know. I'll just kind of figure it out or something. Um, so that unfortunately, though, by the time I actually did the event, it was already too late. And they went with the you should just get out more option.
Oh, that's lame.
Yeah. But it ended up like leading into a kind of a cute story where the guy's like, I should get out more. Like I've been meaning to pick up like leatherworking anyway. I'm just gonna go to the Leatherworkers Guild, and through that you end up he ends up meeting like I forget the character's name, but ends up meeting somebody there, and she kind of treats him more like a lab assistant than anything else. But they think like that'll spark the romance at some point in time. Which, okay, that's kind of cute.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
And then the second part is the actual like event itself, where you can do the event, get the in-game currency for that, and use that to buy some stuff. And it's like a mini instance where you have two events you have to go through. One is you and a partner, either randomized or somebody just pick somebody. In theory, you want to pick if somebody who maybe you're married to in the game, or maybe if you're a couple in real life and you're playing in the game, something like that. Since it's Valentine's Day, but they give you a maze and each maze is different on left and right side, so the characters get split up, and then you have like these rings that are tied to you, and you see like this beam that connects you, and if you if you go too far,
Whoa.
yeah. If you go too far apart, like then the light that connects the two rings will break, and then you see this little countdown going from 100 down to 0. So the idea is that you have to stay close enough throughout the maze that you can get through it, and like while being in close proximity to each other. So it's basically a kind of test of
Cool.
communication. Yeah, it's a neat test.
That's cool.
And then the second part of the test is a simple just matching game. So there's cards of 1 through 6 on the that are shuffled, like one half on one side, the other half on the other, and then between the two of you, like picking out, and it's just kind of guessing like the matching game from there. And depending on how well you do, determines how much of the currency you get to then buy the seasonal items. But you actually find there's like a soulmate level one, which means when you go through the maze, at no point does that light between you ever break. Or I think you're allowed only to lose up to 5 points. But then when you do the matching game, you have to do it perfectly. Like you just have to blind luck it, and just get everything correct.
Wow.
Yeah, and the friends of mine who have played with this said like that one is borderline impossible, because it is just luck at that point with the card flipping. Because you could probably get through the maze just from repetition and then just communication and just get through that. But then when you're doing like a card flip thing, you just kind of have to blind
Yeah,
luck
you
it.
have no idea.
Yeah, so that's what makes, I guess, the idea. The highest level one is soulmate, and then there's kindred spirits, and then there's one of just like casual acquaintances who've seen each other at parties, kind of thing. I forget what the actual term for that one's called. It was just like, you guys are all right. And then fail, I guess. Maybe like the last one is like you get a ticket for free counseling or something. Who knows?
There you go.
But it's
Let's
cool.
see.
I dig it.
I also did one other thing this week. I sold off almost all of my paper Magic cards.
Did you really? You actually went
I
through with
did.
it?
But I did get this.
What is that?
It is a special creature collection thing from Star City Games that they did for like pre-releases and stuff for certain things.
Yeah.
And Blitzkrieg, which is the comic shop here in New Braunfels that I go to when I do anything with that sort of stuff. He gave me one. It's super
Nice.
cool. It's got a goblin on it. I've always loved goblins, so I can use it for Heroes of Levendale, and when I'm streaming stuff with cards instead of just my desk, I can put them on this. It's super cute. I love the little crazy goblin.
Very nice. It was just a free
Yeah,
gift.
yeah.
Nice.
He said I
Well,
could go ahead and take one because I mean, I sold like I don't know 15,000 cards to the store, so
holy crap.
he said on the off chance that he accidentally shorted me on something, I could take one. I was like, well, that's sweet, dude. I love it. Thank you.
Nice, man.
So that's my new toy to go with my very, very small. Plus, when I actually do play Magic, if I set that thing down and then I throw a Merfolk on top of it, people are going to be like, wait, what happened?
Yeah. So how's it feel though, like getting rid of that many cards?
Doesn't feel like anything.
Really? Just
Not at all.
okay.
Because most of them are ones they weren't in decks I was using. I got rid of some of the pre-constructed decks that I've had in the past, but I don't really use them. Like they were ones that were mostly just for playing with students when I was still teaching, and
Yeah.
I'm not doing that. I haven't played a meaningful game of paper Magic since you and I played.
Wow. That was a long time ago. Damn.
That is. I have all my favorite decks, fully completed all the different possible combinations you could use to make them effective online. So there's not much. I don't plan on going to any big events for Magic anytime soon. So
Yeah.
there's no real feeling of need or desire other than completionism to actually have everything there. So I was like, I don't need. It's like 15,000 cards. They take up like literally like a cubic yard,
Mhm.
and then they weigh a combined probably like 80 something pounds. So it's like just here's this cube that takes up space that in every possible sense.
Yeah.
And now it's gone. Now it's over there, and he can resell as much of it as he can, and he'll for what he gave me, if you factor in the usual buy sell thing like that for a store, as long as it's not GameStop, you
Right.
know, uh, he'll turn a decent profit on him too. So everybody wins.
Nice, man. Well, good on you then.
Yeah, yeah. And hey, when you go, I see you got your PAX hat. When you go to
I
PAX
do.
East, you can stop by the Levendale booth and buy yourself a set.
I can do that, yeah, because actually they just released on I think Wednesday or Thursday also the vendors list and the expo hall sort of breakout,
Yeah,
and it's gargantuan in size by comparison to PAX South.
I
Like,
imagine it is. I don't know where it's at in Boston. I imagine it's huge over there.
yeah, no, it's like I'm genuinely excited for it too. But on the other hand, too, like I can just kind of almost hear my wallet going like, no.
Oh, I know. I think Levendale is. I think they're going to. I think they said on their Twitter that on Monday they're going to probably have the pre-order for the two new hero decks, the Dragon, Nerf the Dragon, and Gary the Wizard. That are going
Nice,
to come out either the end of the month or March.
very cool.
Yeah, it's super cool. It's
Yeah,
super fun.
yeah. And so like in terms of all that, so are you still like still talking to those guys on Twitter regularly too? Has it been kind of a quiet week or?
Mhm. Not as much this week. The biggest thing this week was like, at least on my end on Twitter, is I was like, thinking of doing a podcast or something or vidcast for it.
Mm,
What kind of content would people want? And they retweeted it on their thing, and they replied anybody from the company they'd be happy to do on there. And a bunch of people just like were like, "That's awesome,"
yeah,
and then a bunch of people just liked it. And then I'm just like, no one gave me any suggestions for content. So I'm like, cool,
yeah,
cool, cool. I'll figure that out on the get go. But I've got some ideas. I don't know why, because the whole game is like a pun. For some reason, the only thing I could think of for a title instead of Heroes of Levendale was like Lunches of Levendale, and it's
mm,
like, it doesn't have to be necessarily. I don't have to do it at lunch. Maybe I'll film it over my lunch. Maybe I won't. Maybe I'll film it at night. You can watch it on your lunch. I don't know. Just use lunch in there somewhere.
yeah. That's clever. Yeah. I
Yeah.
just imagine while you're playing the game, you're just gonna be eating like a ham sandwich or something.
I had like a plate of Oreos I was gonna eat while doing this. I don't know what the fuck happened to them.
You ate them all because they're Oreos.
No, I haven't eaten them. Maybe Danielle ate them.
Ah. Like,
Something.
do you
Just
still
sneaking them.
stick with the regular Oreos, or do you go weird and do like double stuff so the weird flavors and all that?
No, man, no. Original Oreo is the only thing. Like
Yeah.
double stuffs, maybe. When I was younger and they first came out, those are kind of neat because you're like, oh man, extra stuff. The problem is there's a certain balance that has to be there between the cookies and the cream,
Hmm.
and double stuff and like mega stuff screw that up. Because
Mega
double
stuff
stuff,
just no.
you end up like when you pull the cookie out of the milk. Because I dunk, so like
Right.
I leave it in there until it's soft. So I'm like double stuff, you just everything it always falls down. All the flavor ones, I don't know that I've ever eaten any of the flavored ones. I've never wanted to. They
I've
made a cookies and cream one, and it was funny. And
yeah.
somebody was like, "This high motherfucker just made Oreo flavored Oreos."
Oreos, right?
Um, I think the worst thing ever. And I get that people want to have healthier options for things, but to me, an Oreo is not a healthy option. And when they released the Oreo thins, I
Yeah.
had one of those, and I was like, what is this? Why are you? It's like, come on! I need like 5 of these to equal like one regular Oreo.
Hmm.
Like the ratio is all off, and like it's like eating an Oreo wafer
Yeah.
crisp instead of like eating an Oreo. And I'm just like, this is terrible. I just want to like the R&D person should have been like, take this away and like thrown it at somebody. Peon, get out of here.
Right. I think the idea though is supposed to be like if you just need like that little chocolate like flavor just to kind of get you through for the day or something like that.
Then make mini Oreos that are the same ratio.
True. And they did do that. There are mini
They did.
Oreos.
They did.
Yeah.
Oreo is actually they've made so many terrible Oreo things. Like they had the Oreo cereal for a while.
That was
That was
gross to me.
atrocious.
Yeah.
They had the Oreo filled bars, which was basically just like a black cookie bar filled with like white frosting, and you're just like, nah,
Yeah.
pass.
Yeah. I thought like it was a good idea at the time until I actually tried it with like the Oreo that are like already coated in extra chocolate around it.
Mm,
Like I think like Oreo fudge or something like that, but
yeah,
it's just such overkill at that point then because it's like not even like a thin layer. It's like a just like almost like a candy bar's worth of chocolate wrapped already around an Oreo. Like it's just diabetes right there. Like it should just come with its own syringe of insulin just to kind of
exactly. I think the only thing they've done that was pretty good was like the thing that's like Dunkaroos, which are
Mhm.
apparently coming back.
They are.
That'll be cool. But like it's you have the Oreo little crisp, and you dunk it into the cream, which is fun.
Yeah.
I loved Dunkaroos as a kid. That and that cheese thing. I used to love the cheese thing when I was a kid.
Handy
People are like, "Oh,
snacks.
it's unhealthy," and I'm just like, I don't care.
Yeah.
I'm 10. It's in my lunch. Like it's all I want in the world.
It is. Yeah. Like all those snacks we grew up with as kids were like genuinely like really unhealthy. Like fruit drinks, like the little bottles or boxes of apple juice or orange juice or something like that, or fruit punch.
Yeah,
No.
juicy juice contains no juice.
Yeah, exactly. But it was just absolute sugar. Like the fruit snacks that we grew up with, they're like, oh, it's made with real fruit. Bull the fuck shit, it is.
Yeah, I used to watch your parents make like Kool-Aid, and they get like this big jug, and they pour a bunch of water in it, and then they pour the Kool-Aid packet in, and then you're sitting there like scooping in like fucking like 2 giant ass like ladles of sugar, and then
Yep.
whisk it up.
Oh my god, but
My mom used to throw like 4 flavors together, and it would always end up brown, and so we just called it rust Kool-Aid. End up with like strawberry, banana, grape, fruit punch, and
oh my,
it's always like this like weird light brown, and you're like, what else?
yeah. It's like I'm gonna go outside and play, or if you're me, like I'm gonna sit still and play Nintendo for 12 hours now. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, that's a good way to fuel it.
yeah. Oh my god. And then I had Dunkaroos. I had the handy snacks. So I loved those things. But Lunchables was like the like epoch of like snacks for me growing up as a kid,
Oh yeah,
except for the pizza one, which is like the one that I think like I always
no,
saw commercials for. It was like I never understood the point of that because it's a
it's
cold
cold.
pizza. Yeah, with unmelted cheese, like their shitty sauce and like cold pepperoni. Like none of this sounds appealing at all. Like there's and the instructions don't even tell you like put it in the microwave to like to nuke it for a second so you got like a melted pizza. It was just make it yourself and eat it raw, bitch. Yeah,
Yes,
that's
I feel like I'd rather just eat a can of like just room temp Chef Boyardee than eat that,
kind of right.
which
Oh,
I've done.
yeah. Um, yeah, because I remember those being a thing, and then at some point, like handy snacks, I think are actually still around, but they've also started doing
Yeah,
like high protein ones too, and like stuff for like more like teenagers, I think, as well. Like,
Yeah, they have like the Oscar Mayer ones where it's like the
yeah,
protein packs, and they have the ones where it's like an actual like bread sandwich, and then there's like the fancy Lunchables which have like a prosciutto and stuff in there,
yeah.
and like wine infused salami.
God,
It's
good
amazing.
lord.
The Lunchable esque section at HEB is literally like 25 feet wide
Hmm.
somehow. I don't understand that.
Yeah, yeah. It's absolutely nuts. Oh, but they were so good though too. Like I remember still growing up with that, like and just being so excited for lunch because my mom would always give me. I'd have my little Lunchables there, like a full size Twix bar, and like my little thermos full of like either like Kool Aid or Hawaiian Punch or Sunny D or something like that. And then I wonder what happened to me like when I got fat. It was like, oh my god, I don't know what's going on here. I'm eating all the stuff that she's providing me. I'm not eating anything extra. I was like, yeah, yeah, it's pure sodium and sugar. That's all I was eating.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh.
And then you get to where you can drive and buy your own things, and then all you want to buy is McDonald's.
Salt and sugar, yeah. That was such a thing when you got to like leave campus in high school.
Oh yeah.
Oh, so
I,
good.
I, I did that for my junior year and almost all of my senior year.
Hmm.
I had like half days my senior year every single day. So I was like done with school at like 12:45.
Yeah, me too.
I was like, I guess I'll go to Wendy's and
Hmm.
then I don't know what we're gonna do. A buddy of mine and I we used to just hang out near the school and just throw a frisbee around
Nice.
until they told
Oh,
us we like literally like had to leave. They're like, you cannot actually be on campus. I'm like, all right, cool. We'll
yeah,
we'll be back at 4.
yeah. So the bus can pick you up.
No, no, I drove. I just came back to pick up Danielle.
Oh, okay. Um, yeah, because like I remember when I was in high school, like it was like in my neighborhood there's like Ingram Mall right there, so like getting to eat at the food court, which like oh felt like such a badass. A Whataburger, which of course is always incredible, and a Chinese restaurant that was right there by the mall too. And
Have you
I
ever
don't
Stark in Japan? Oh my god, it's
yeah
so good.
so good. But the I think it's just the idea though of like be able to like leave school to go have lunch and then come back like I just felt like such an adult doing that. Like you would see like people like walk like at the restaurants too who are like eating alongside you too, like wearing business suits and ties and shit. You're like, I'm one of you now. Like
Yeah, yeah.
even like deep down these guys are looking like, what the fuck is this child doing here?
Yeah, you're sitting over there. It's just like when you're a little kid, you're sitting over there and you order your sandwich and you sit down and you have like your backpack with you and in your head it's like, yeah, I'm an adult, I'm an adult. And then they're over there with their briefcase and really they're looking at you like you're the little kid who has like their pretend toy laptop out and you're like,
Yep.
look, daddy, I made this. And it's just really just like a bunch of random letters and you're like, good job.
Yep. Yeah. Here's the bill. Pay and get out. Yep.
Yeah, yeah.
Yep. And the crazy thing, like my mom actually used to give me money whenever we would like leave school too. So like when I would first get that $20 bill, it was like sky's the limit, whatever we want. And then by like Thursday, when I had like $1 left, it's like, yeah, we need to go to a dollar menu like right now. Like, or I need
Jack
to
in the
like
Box.
exactly like I can get like 2 tacos from Jack in the Box and free water, assuming I can find a dime along the way at school, so that way I can pay for taxes. Yeah,
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
That was always a status symbol. You see the kids coming back from lunch, like the Whataburger cups or whatever, and like they just
Mhm.
like, yeah, you know it, you know it. Yeah, I went to Whataburger.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah,
what did you have? Fries from the cafeteria? Sucker.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. School lunch kid, whatever.
Yeah. Like,
Loser underclassman.
actually, speaking of that, I was talking with somebody on stream the other day. Like, have you ever heard the term frosh?
Yes,
Yeah. Okay.
I have only exclusively heard it referred to um, in like sports terminology
Okay.
for athletes at like Division 1 colleges on like weird scholarships. There's frosh, and then there's like true freshman, 5th year senior, those kind of things that are all equated to usually specifically a sports terminology thing.
Okay.
But yes, I have heard the term.
Yeah. Yeah. Apparently, just in conversation with them, it was referred to the frosh is an old man term, which, oh, oh. The only way I swear to God, this is true. Like the only way I've ever heard that term was pre-frosh. And do you ever remember that movie PCU with Jeremy Piven and David Spade?
And Jonathan Favreau was in there.
Yes, he was. Like when he was playing like the little stoner dude. Yeah.
Actually, no, my brother sent me a text actually because he had finally gotten around to watching Mandalorian, and hang on, it was the exact name of his character. What did he send? Yeah, he goes. It's all related to Mandalorian. He just sends me a middle finger, and says, "I used to have free time," and I go, "Okay." He says, "Now I've watched the first episode of the Mandalorian. Now I'm obligated to finish the series." And I go, "Haha, sucker! That show is the shit though, for real." He says, "I saw the pod and realized it was Baby Yoda time." And
Yeah.
then he shot the IG droid, and I was hooked. I said, "Oh yeah, so good." He's like, "It's great. I didn't know it was Jon Favreau." You remember him being Gutter in PCU?
Gutter. That was his name. Yes.
Yeah,
Oh
I
my
love
god.
that movie. That's one of my favorite movies of all time. I
It
love that
was
movie.
so
They're
good.
giving out what is it? Their thesis, and he's like Sanskrit, and he's like, your thesis
Mhm.
is in Sanskrit. Yeah, you're majoring in a in a 4,000-year-old dead language.
Yeah.
Latin, best I can do.
That was. Oh my god. That was.
That's probably another movie you can't make again.
No, because it's now basically just making fun of people for being politically correct now all the time.
Hmm.
Except like when you think about some of the stuff they're doing back then, it's like, yeah, yeah, like they just wanted like equal rights. Okay, that's cool. We're kind of down for that. Or beef is murder is like, yeah, it's still it's that one like the meat is murder one is like, yeah, like I think it's like the new version of that would be like how we raise our beef instead, which doesn't have nearly the same impact at this point.
Yeah, they should have a new version of that come out, like a remake where it's like the main character's kid going to the same college, and he's like, yeah, when I was here, da 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 da,
Yeah,
and then like all the new people were there. That's why I
yeah,
love Jeremy Piven's character in Old School, because he's
yeah,
the dean, and I'm just like, that's great.
yeah. It's a full circle for the character. Yeah, and then a car falls on him.
That's right.
Yeah,
That's right.
that's how it ends. That's absolutely how it. Him and what's his name, Craig Kilborn, died at the very end of the film, and
Oh, I
that
remember Craig Kilborn.
yeah,
He
pre
used to
Trevor
do Daily
Noah,
Show.
yeah, pre Trevor Noah and pre John Stewart, we had Craig Kilborn.
He was great. I liked him.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Didn't
Um,
Conan do the Daily Show in between Craig and Jon Stewart?
I don't think so. I think by that point he already had his own show.
Okay. I
Yeah.
was trying to remember. I just remember I started watching The Daily Show with Craig Kilborn.
Oh yeah, I think it started with him.
That,
Um,
that sounds about right.
yeah. Um, yeah, because Conan, I still remember like after he left The Simpsons is when he did the show, got his own show, and he's just been doing that for like the last like 20, 25 years, something like that. Um, yeah, I was trying to think. What was it? That was the crazy. Actually, kind of go back to old school now too, or like I'm thinking back on it because maybe because time of this recording is the Oscars, but like the guy who directed Old School is Todd Phillips, the guy who directed the Joker film. Like just think about like, yeah,
Wow.
kind of like how
I
far
haven't
you
I
come.
haven't paid any attention to the Oscars.
Yep.
I can only assume there's lots of. I guess I can look it up. There's lots of snubs happening.
Yeah.
Speaking of TV shows, though, did you watch the Lego Masters?
No, I just saw that on my my Hulu feed. Like, did you see it?
I did. I did. We watched it. I've watched the first episode twice now already.
Is it that good?
Yeah, it was really really good.
Nice. Like, so
Let's
what is
see.
it? What do they have to build, or is it like, or what are the rules to the game?
They have 15 hours. Well, the first episode was 15 hours. I don't know if they'll like switch it around sometimes between episodes, but it was 15 hours. They had to build an amusement park that would fit on this like dreamland kind of thing. So each person had like what looked like a either a 3x3 or a 4x4 square. They'd already had some pre-built stuff, so like the green plate and then part of a monorail that was going to run through it. But they had free reign to do whatever they wanted in 15 hours. They just had to have one moving attraction.
Okay.
So some of them are better than others. Some of them are really terrible. Like when we watched it, we were already like that it's teams of two, and we're like, they suck, they're gonna go. They suck, they're gonna go. They suck, they're gonna go. Like we already know. We already feel pretty good about like who's gonna be like the top three teams at the end. But it looks cool. Will Arnett is an excellent host for it.
Is is he like genuinely like engaged in it, or is he going like, this is fucking stupid?
No, he is. He is.
Cool.
Oh, they're still in the random Oscars. Sound editing for Ford versus Ferrari. Sound category for 1917. I need to see that movie.
That was spectacular. That one deserves it. Yeah. I saw Brad Pitt won for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and
For
he
supporting?
yeah, and he was really good in it too. He was. I thought the movie itself was. I think it was a good movie, but it's something that was just like it's. I think it's just like Tarantino's whole thing now of basically just kind of doing historical fiction now, but
Yeah.
yeah, it was. It's definitely
Let's
worth a
see.
watch, but it's to me it's not something I would say I would ever go back to and watch again like Kill Bill or Django or something.
This is always one of my favorite categories, documentary. The Obama-produced American Factory wins award for best documentary. That's
Hmm.
cool.
Yeah. Huh.
Little Women for best costume. That's not horribly surprising.
No.
And Dina Menzel brought international Elsas. Oh, that's fun to imagine.
Yeah.
Let's see. All right. Well, eventually they always save like the ones that people care about the most to the very end.
Oh yeah, after like hour three or something like that. Yeah, I just award shows in general for me, I just tend not to care because it's like my favorite film is never going to get nominated or win or anything like that. Or also knowing too like I think it was like Crack.com or something like that did a article about how Oscars are generally won, and it's a lot of marketing and a lot and just a shit ton of advertising for like it's more political than it is actually like genuinely calling something out for being good. Like Green Book winning like what couple of years ago. Like nobody fucking saw Green Book,
Yeah.
and it's a nothing film. But it was Oscar bait that just won over like a few other like genuinely much better films.
I just saw that Eminem apparently performed "Lose Yourself" as part of some song medley, so that's kind of
Oh,
cool.
okay. Like, is there an award show that you do pay attention to that you get excited for, or not really?
No,
Yeah.
I'm trying to think if there's one. I depending on the year, the Oscars. It's been difficult since I've had a kid because I can't watch as many movies as I want to, so I don't get a chance to see as many that might be. Um, I always look to see who won. I just I never watch them live because I just there's so much filler. It's like watching the Super Bowl. I never really watch the Super Bowl anymore since I don't care as much about like NFL football, but
Mhm.
there's too many commercials.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's more frustrating because the more sports that I watch are more like international based, where they don't have breaks, like auto racing and stuff. And actually, like CBS's sports coverage of Formula E, the all electric series,
Hmm.
they take commercial breaks for like 5 minutes during the race.
Oh my God,
It
really?
drives me nuts. Yeah, because they're like, there's like 23 minutes into the race, and it's a 45-minute race. And then, like, the CBS, anchor comes on, and he's the only person with like an American accent. And he's like, some great action here in Santiago, Chile for the Formula E Prix. And we're going to take a break away and we'll be right back. And then it's all like, oh, buy some Tide Pods for your kids to eat or some bullshit. And then 2 minutes later, they come back and it's like, the leader was like, my guy was winning the race from like pole position. And then all of a sudden he's in like third place. And I'm like, what the fuck happened?
Yeah. You almost gotta think they would
So
do that like picture in picture thing where you have like the race in the bottom corner, and then just like let them.
they They do the inverse of that for IndyCar. Actually, they
Oh.
have the race the entire time, and then in a picture-in-picture, they'll show ads. Like you'll just be sitting there, and it'll just be randomly. It's like lap 7, and all of a sudden, like boom, Coors Light down in the bottom corner, and you're all like, "Oh, okay."
Ew.
Well, it's IndyCar, so it's car racing for an American audience. So
Okay. Yeah, I'd imagine Formula E would be like Stella Artois or something like that. I don't
well,
think
they
I
don't
pronounced
have.
that right.
You did Stella Artois.
Oh, cool.
You did. Yeah. No. Yeah. Let's see. Yeah.
Yeah. I did see actually over the weekend too, Birds of Prey, which is apparently doing terribly right now at the box office, which is such a shame. It was
I
good. It was
was it.
it was really, really, really good. Like
Well, that's good to hear.
Yeah, Margot Robbie steals the show. All the supporting cast are fantastic. Ewan McGregor is having a ton of fun as Black Mask. Like it's genuinely a very very good film. Like I can't recommend that film enough.
Hmm.
But it's
Oh,
done
I
its
don't.
worst since Jonah Hex for DC.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
I I don't know that I've ever actually finished watching Suicide Squad.
Yeah, it's fine. It's
I still think Jared Leto was the worst Joker.
oh yeah, oh my god, yeah. Like
And I
people
saw,
got
I was gonna say, I was like, I saw the Joker,
yeah,
and I actually, overall, I like his performance a little bit better than I do Heath Ledger's because I appreciate the origin story and the building of the character,
hmm
and it's not as blatantly graphic. Like people are like, "Oh, this movie's so brutal," and I'm sitting here and I don't think it's spoiler alert at this point, but like the worst part of the whole movie is when he stabs that like fat guy
yeah,
and the you know the little short guy, the little how I don't know what the best way to say it is, the dwarf midget
yeah. Dwarf, I think.
guy with dwarfism, whatever. Um, he's there, and that's the point where you really realize that like he is completely like lost it because he's sitting there and he's just brutally murdered some person and he's like, no, you can go, and like I really thought he might kill him at first, and I was like, that's the sickest thing ever when he's sitting there and he's like trying to get at the locks and he
Uh
can't
huh.
reach the locks, obviously. So it's like, and he just like sits down and he starts crying and he's like, no, I'm not gonna hurt you, you were always nice to me. He like kisses him on the forehead and like he's like, all right, bye.
Yeah.
But I thought it was great. I thought it was a great movie. I didn't think it was absolutely brutal. I thought it was, I mean, it's the kind of thing where if anything, it's more an indictment on the way people are just genuinely treated in society than anything else. Because you
hmm
have like, that's how people get marginalized, is they just get ignored.
Yeah.
Although, fun fact, I think if I'm correct, that movie is only the second time that Robert De Niro's character is killed off in a movie.
Really?
That in 15 minutes.
Huh.
In 15 minutes, he's actually killed off, I think, like only a third of the way into the movie his character is killed off, but he's such a big name he always leads with names, and yeah, his character was killed off. 15 minutes is a very underrated but I think really 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 great movie.
Yeah. 15 minutes. I'm trying to remember that one.
It's like 80% shot with like handy cam footage. It's in terms of like cinematography, it was awesome. Let me see if I can find it. It was like a murder thriller one. Who was the other main characters? Let me pull it up, see if I can get it on IMDb. I was about to say Ethan Hawke, but I know he's not the one in it. Edward Burns is in there as
Okay.
a second character, and you have like these like Eastern European guys, and it's a really interesting movie.
Yeah. I think Tom Cruise is also one of the same kind of actors where, like, because of his star power and stuff, that there's very few films where he's actually died in. Like, I don't.
Well, yeah, but he makes up enough for it in Live Die Repeat.
True story. Oh, that's actually a good point.
I could watch him die in that movie over and over again.
Yeah.
So good.
Um,
Looks like this. Oh man, 2001. Yeah, it's an old movie.
yeah. The name sounded really, really familiar, but
I
yeah, I
think I've
think
mentioned it before. It's always in the back of my mind as like a really, I think, really well at least filmed movie.
mhm,
Um, but yeah,
nice. Um, so I don't know if you've been watching streams lately. Not changing topics like just real like that. I started doing cooking streams the last couple of weeks.
I have. I don't know if you saw my comment I made. Your camera one, like all I could hear was like it was like "Rrrr," and like you sounded like a damn robot.
Really?
Like you were like, right, I'm going to put this into this. And I was like, okay, like robot Julia Childs.
Damn.
Yeah, I don't know if it was just me, but when you were doing like the other one, like everything was nice and clear when it was the over the pot shot. But then when
Yeah.
you went back to the one where like the cutting board was and stuff, like the audio was all jacked. I was like typing
Weird.
into the thing. I was like, Chris, your audio is all weird. And I'm like,
Damn. Yeah, I'm still working out the King's Fortune, but it's been a lot of fun. So I've done the a steak bowl from an anime called Food Wars, which
twice.
yes, I did. I made. I didn't stream the second bowl, but that is it's a really good show, and I've been kind of jonesing to watch an anime for a while, but it's super weird. Like I kind of expected it to be like one of those animes, like the show. Oh god, now I can't remember it. There's an anime that's just about that game Go. And
Yeah, we talked about that
did
last
we?
week.
Okay,
Yeah,
never mind then.
yeah,
I
yeah.
don't.
No,
I
yeah,
don't want to repeat myself. Never mind. Never mind. Um,
yeah. No,
So
the
yeah,
cooking streams they're fun. I've often thought about doing it, and it's neat. You get to watch it like develop. Like that's what's going to happen with like my card stream stuff because I have this little like boom thing that I showed last week for recording
yeah,
on my phone, and I actually found an app that will that actually works really really well to where I can actually stream it on my computer through my phone.
yeah. That's
So I can
fantastic.
use my phone as a webcam. So now I can actually, and like I was working on like my Twitch setup to where like there's like a bigger screen that'll show like the actual like card part of the table, and then like a little box for me for when I do like the podcast, vidcast, whatever for it. So
Nice.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah, and it's been a lot of fun. Like today, I'm trying to think. Like, so yeah, I did the chicken sandwich from The Witcher, which was it was fine. The shakshuka, which I got from a recipe reborn, and then today was mule, also from a recipe reborn, which ends up being just a coconut sweet bun, which was fucking amazing.
oh
And
yeah,
yeah, and it's basically just like an excuse for me now to bake and stream and drink all at the same time.
that's
Yeah,
living the dream there, buddy.
little bit. Yeah, if I can figure out a way, if I can get big enough where I can just do that all the time, like just take other people's hard work and be like, I'm gonna do the thing they work their asses off. I'm gonna do it now and get paid for it. That would be nice.
That's the dream. That's the
Yeah,
dream.
yeah. Patreon.com/Circle of Geekdom.
All the things.
Yeah, all the things. Yeah, all of our links are still down below too. And actually, we still have your website too, the SeanDoesStuff.com as well. Like, have you added anything new to that?
No, I need to. I should probably add something tomorrow.
Yeah. Like I,
I'll
I
have to do that during my lunch break.
yeah. Um, like actually been in the process of re acquiring content from CircleGeekdom.com as well, and at least getting like the blogger version back up and running again because I like the old format of that website.
I did too. I think it was a little bit easier to post stuff. The newer one, the Squarespace one, it seemed like the formatting was difficult to like post things.
It was an absolute bitch to work through that one. I really I'm sure Squarespace is much more useful if we were trying to like sell more stuff too. But
Yeah,
just for I don't think it was really designed for what we were trying to do though. Which in hindsight, shame on me for doing that. But at least we can say we tried it. Oh, that hurt. That hurt. Oh, I got what? Who does this still? Who do? I don't even know what this is supposed to. What is that supposed to mean?
tisk tisk.
Yeah, but but is this like two sticks going and then turns into a fire and then the fire burns down the cabin and then you're homeless?
That I don't know. I just
Yeah.
know that it's I don't know.
Yeah. No, yeah, like it's one of those old like kind of things. I remember growing up with that and just being like,
Just look it up.
nah. Nah, I don't feel like it. I don't. Like that's one of those things like I still find it weird sometimes to like whenever like I ask a question just in general, like why bother ask somebody a question when you can just Google the answer at this point? Like what? Like
I think sometimes you want to know that people actually know things.
yeah, maybe
I think that's always ideal. Or you ask hypothetical questions that require not Googleable knowledge.
hypotheticals I can understand that one, but yeah, whenever I ask for something like how do you change a tire anyway? Who does that? Like I could Google that, I could search, I can do some research and find out, but I could watch a YouTube how-to video on changing tires. I'm sure if I ever got like pulled off on the side of the road because of a flat tire, I can just do a YouTube video search. But
That not that you're part of that, but that seems like that would be like one of the most like millennial moments ever. Seeing somebody like trying to like sell service like on their phone, trying to like
yeah,
figure out like how to change a tire.
oh, I would totally be that asshole. That would absolutely be me.
I don't
'Cause-
think I've ever not known how to change a tire.
yeah, like I've heard comments before was, but like they really should have been classes in school like life skills, like how to change your oil, how to change a tire, how to do your taxes, how not to fuck up with a credit card, like all
Yeah,
that kind of
they
stuff.
should really have like the I don't life skills wouldn't work because that's the name of a program for students with severe like special needs like students
Oh,
with like the really really intense like cerebral palsy or like the ones where like they essentially cannot physically or like mentally take care of themselves entirely. Those are called like the life skills programs. But yeah, something where it's like daily skills or some sort of class where yeah,
yeah,
that's what like home ec and stuff like partially was or like Now we had what did we have in school? You had to take BCIS, and it was like how to balance a checkbook, and it's
Hmm.
like that is the most obsolete knowledge that I have is I know how to balance a checkbook, and I've only ever done it maybe twice.
Yeah,
I think I've written 100 checks in my entire life,
probably for me too. Yeah.
only because like certain apartments I lived at were like you had to pay with a check.
Hmm.
I'm
Yep.
like, yeah,
The apartment I'm in now is like, oh no, you could totally just. I'm pretty sure that I could have paid in Bitcoin for this apartment, but yeah, it was just like you just pay online. That's just like balance a
yeah,
checkbook is kind of like one of those last bashes of things like I've heard of before. I did it once when I was in college because they actually did have a how to adult class for freshmen or frosh,
yes,
and
that needs to exist.
yep, and they absolutely told us about how to balance a checkbook, how to do like credit cards, like how to apply for one, like what like interest rates, like how even like a 1% difference can make a huge difference, and all that other stuff. Is like I kind of wish I knew this stuff way sooner than this, but instead, no, I was taking like what was it? The fuck what else? I took culinary arts in high school and fucking I was about to say like underwater basket weaving, but that's not true. I took marine biology. That's what I could not think of marine biology. I thought underwater basket weaving. Good lord.
I didn't really take any bullshit classes in high school. I just took work periods. I did
Me
4 years of German, but I do not sprechen.
no. I took 3 of Spanish. I took like I didn't really take that many electives because it was at the point where I was actually done with high school by the second semester of my senior year. Like I graduated like a month, or I graduated in February of 2001 instead of May because I'd already got accepted into college. Did I tell you the story? No. Oh my
No,
god.
no,
So
no.
yeah, I because of like my high school's block scheduling, like I just always kept front loading all my essential classes, and by the time it was like my senior year, I needed like 2 more classes, which I took during the fall semester, and then I had like work studies, and then my for spring semester I did not need anything, so I took like pre-cal, which I suck at math. I don't know why I did that. Marine biology and I want to say it was computer science too, and like I was sucking at all 3 of those things, and but I was already accepted to college, so I talked to my mom about this, and like she was cool with it. So like the next day, I walk into my school's guidance counselor, literally the only time I ever did it, and said, "Can I go?" And like I remember the guy's response was like, "You just walked in." It's like, "No, no, no," and I explained everything, and like I showed him my acceptance letter to when I got into college. I got a scholarship and everything. And he's like, and they're like, "No one's ever asked this before." It's like, "Well, can I?" It's like, so they like took me over to the principal's office. They showed him the paperwork, and it's like, "So you already got accepted to college. You got a scholarship." It's like, "Yes, sir." It's like, and he just looked at me, shook my hands, like, "God bless you, son. Good luck to you," and just walked. And then it's like, "Okay, process him out." So they took me over to the registrar. They like, I officially graduated like that day. Um,
Wow.
yeah. So then I just went to all my classes and just had to go just tell my teachers like, "Yeah, I'm done. Like, I'm just gonna like kind of just shoot the shit for the rest of the day, and then I'm gonna go home." And then like the best part too is like, I didn't tell any of my friends this either too. So all I had to do like I ended up like leaving school like even earlier because like by the time my third class rolled around, like all I had to do all I ended up doing was just like tell them like, "Hey, I'm done. I graduated. Bye." So I ended up like going to work and then called up my friends on the landline because I didn't have a cell phone yet because it was 2001, and just told them, "Hey guys, you don't need to pick me up. I graduated from high school today." And they're like, "What?" And I kind of explained the exact same story. And yeah, just was done super, super early. And kind of told my friends after the fact. Like, if you just tell them, like, "Oh, yeah, I got a haircut." Like, "Oh, and I'm done with school for the next, 5 months." So instead of having a 3 month summer vacation, I had a 5 month one.
That works, dude. That's
Yeah.
cool.
It
I
was,
never knew that. I never knew
yeah.
that story.
Yeah. It was kind of cool because then at that point, then I just started working full time then. And yeah, it worked out pretty well. The only thing that sucked though was that I ended up missing out on my senior prom because I ended up asking one of my friends when we stopped by when I was working at GameStop. He was like, "Hey, when is prom?" Like I was gonna ask out this girl, and he was like, "Dude, prom was a month ago." I was like, "What?" It's like, "Yeah, man. Like
You missed out. That was your chance, man.
it
That was your
was my
chance. Don't
chance,"
worry.
and just like Like I just imagine all my friends at prom go like having fun, and then me just at work going like, oh man, prom's coming up, I can't wait.
Oh,
Like,
I'm gonna ask out Stacy. It's gonna be
yeah,
awesome.
yep, no. And the correct actually fun fact on top of all that was when I came back to San Antonio for PAX South, the girl who I was going to ask, I ended up walking right past her, like in downtown.
I think you told me that. You
Yeah,
did tell me that part. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, and it's like, holy crap! It still weirds me out that she like I recognized her immediately, and she just did not see, did not recognize me at all.
I think that's the best.
Yeah,
I like when I recognize someone before they recognize me, so it gives me a chance to go, do I want to be engaged in any sort of
right.
conversation? I'm like, oh, it's that person. I know that person.
Mm? Um, like, and it does give you the opportunity too, if you wanted to be dramatic about it too. Like I kind of was thinking about it and just got was gonna like turn around and say something kind of cool like, "You used to write me notes between classes," and just see if she like stops and turns around like, "Excuse me," and then just had that big cinematic moment. But same time I
I
was
feel like
like,
a video,
"Nah,
yeah, I feel like a video game convention's probably not like the best place for that because there's already enough like weird things people just randomly say walking down the sidewalk.
yeah." But it was like 10:30 night, and it was like me and my buddy Ray, Castaway Cart. We're walking back to the hotel, and that's when I just walked when we were walking past each other. So like by this point, like the actual like con was over. So like I could have just turned around and like it would have been just like the group of
Oh,
like
okay, yeah.
me and Ray, and then her and whoever the two other guys she was with. But like it's one of those things like I don't think it's gonna be something I'll look back on and regret or anything, but it was like one of those like, oh, that would have been kind of a cool moment if I could have like added a little flair of dramatic to that.
He's like, you chose wrong.
Yeah, yeah. Oh,
Just go with that one.
but oh well. Ah, what else?
Uh,
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't, I'm
Does
trying to think of this.
does it feel like we've been kind of grasping at straws for this one?
It does. It
It
does.
does.
I feel, we even started about. We were about to like slip back and talk about something from last week.
Mhm.
Uh,
Yeah, I think we got the title of this vidcast episode. Like,
what? Comma. Dead air. Let's
oh
see.
no.
Maybe there's more Oscar information.
Yeah, do it, do it.
Let's do one last one. Uh, Somebody had a moment with stand up. Okay, that doesn't have anything to do with the actual. Oh, Obama was actually. Did he actually accept the Oscar? Oh, he tweeted his congratulations for the thing.
Okay.
Uh, Ford versus Ferrari won for best film editing.
Mhm.
Noise. 1917 took home for cinematography, which I
Absolutely.
think was a given because I haven't seen it yet. But my understanding was that the way the movie was made, it was made to seem like one gigantic supercut
Yep.
because I think the two main. Have you seen it?
Oh yeah,
Is it good?
it's
It
spectacular.
looks so good. It the two main characters are never not in the shot, right?
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, that was the thing. Is like it was. My understanding was it was basically supposed to be like one. It seemed like one like supercut. Like
Hmm.
it was made to look like the camera was constantly on them. Like there was no like just like interior, exterior.
Yeah.
Kind of
Not.
that stuff.
Yeah.
I need to see that.
You can kind of tell when they are like taking breaks with it. Like it's really clever editing when they do stuff like that. But I think like I said, it was a absolutely fantastic film. It was if it beats out Joker, I would not be surprised. Like
I
it
wouldn't
was
be surprised.
exceptionally well done. I still think Joaquin Phoenix needs to win for best actor because like I think his turn as Joker was amazing. But if
Oh
not,
God, the only problem with that is if he wins, then we're gonna have, um, even more people bitching about like how Heath Ledger didn't get one.
yeah, he did.
Did he get one?
Yeah, he got one posthumously.
Oh, I'm. Why did I? Oh, I think people were saying how like because like he should have won one for like the best actor or something. I don't know. Yeah, that's right. He did win best supporting actor for Dark Knight.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see who wins.
All right. Well, we'll talk about it next time then.
That's what next time
There we
Oscar
go.
recap.
Exactly. There we go. All right. Our social media links are down below. So make sure you check out our Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, and Sean's blog. Until next time,
Yep.
for the Circle Geek to Vidcast, I'm Chris.
I'm Sean.
You all have a good night, and I tip my hat to you all, as only a manderful man can.